Sometimes bikepacking trips go horribly wrong, but most of the time they're good. But occasionally, just occasionally, they are absolutely perfect. I've been on loads of great adventures over the last however many years now, but one always stands out as being that one that was just perfect. Sometimes the stars align and everything goes perfectly well, and it's just very memorable for all the right reasons. And for me, it was back in 2022. It was about 3 weeks before my first child was born, so it was kind of my last bikepacking trip as a person without children. And I flew to California, Northern California, just outside San Francisco. My best mate from school had moved over there. He was working at Stanford University. So they lived in San Jose, which is, I don't know, about 30, 40 miles away from San Francisco, something like that. And they basically hosted me. They picked me up from the airport. I got to hang out with them. They worked during the week, so I had the whole week to go bikepacking in some of the most fantastic, beautiful locations. And the first thing I thought when I was going to America was, it's going to be terrible for bikes. Like, there are some stretches, don't get me wrong, that it's just purely owned by cars. So there were these amazing trails though in Northern California, in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and because it was midweek, I think there was just nobody there. It was mid-October, so in the UK it's starting to get a bit cold. Over there it was 22, 23, up to 26 degrees, so it's just perfect cycling temperature. The ground was dry. I had a wild camping spot. When I say wild camping, I had to have a permit, but there was nothing there, all to myself. I think I paid a few dollars to get this permit, expecting people to be there because it's a busy city, San Francisco. But no, nobody there. Had it all to myself. I got to see all of the nature, the beautiful golden grass that you get in California. And where I was camping was above the cloud line. So although there was a city down in the valley below, that night I had one of the best night's sleep ever while camping. It was lovely and warm. It wasn't wet at all the clouds had dropped below where I was camping, and it was dead silent. The cloud acted as this sort of blanket cover for all the sound, so it was an unbelievable night. And everything else just perfectly worked. Like, I did a mixture of camping, staying in some weird and wonderful lodges, and I stayed in a hotel in San Francisco as well as staying at my friend's house and catching up with them who I hadn't seen in a couple of years. And it just, everything was perfect. I can't think of anything that went wrong. I did a good amount of riding. I had some beautiful trails, nature, scenery, weather was perfect. And I had that sort of comfort of knowing I've got someone to turn to if there's something goes wrong. So weirdly, if I'm going to another country, I do always have that niggle in the back of my head thinking, what if there's an issue? I'm by myself, I'm stuck here. So it was just this perfect mix of everything I love about bikepacking. The solitude, nature, weather, and the beautiful tracks and trails, but also having my friends that I could spend some time with. I spent the weekend with them after they'd finished work, so I had like a couple of days at the end where I could just completely unwind and go out and do things that you do in America. And I can't wait to go back. They've moved back to the UK now, so I don't have that freedom to sort of rock over any time I like, but I'm definitely looking forward to going there again. I'd love to get your thoughts on the perfect bikepacking trip that you've had, because we've all had ones that go wrong, and we've all had some that are really good, but, you know, weren't perfect for whatever reason. So I'd love to get your stories. Stick them in the comments. What was the most perfect bikepacking trip you went on and why? I'd love to hear those stories, and I'm hoping I can head over there and get some sort of similar experience again.